breath slow. I want you to think back on this past maybe 24 hours, this past week, this past month. Choose your own adventure in terms of time and start to map out in the way that you would see a heartbeat, your feelings, your emotions. Just kind of watch that, whether it's day by day, hour by hour, unfold on a map so that you can visualize the range of your feeling. It doesn't have to be total science. Just something to bring to your awareness where you've been, what you're bringing to the mat right now, what has piled up in your brain, in your body, and may come out through the next 45 minutes. We're going to be doing a lot of twisting today, and that is said to release toxins not just in your organs and all of those inner goods, but potentially, especially in the hip area, bring up some stuff. So A, drink lots of water after this, but B, just be open and present to that. Without opening your eyes, bring your hands together, palms to touch, right above your chest, and start to rub them together. So create a little bit of heat, some friction, and once you feel the warmth, you can bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Let that heat you've created press into your body. Maybe you feel your heartbeat, your breath. We're going to start today off with a form of breathing that's sometimes called two-stage breathing. So you're going to breathe in first with your half of your inhale into that hand on your belly. And then the second half of the inhale will fill up the lungs beneath the hand on your heart. And then we'll hold for 3 counts. And then exhale in the same 2 stages. So starting at the top hand this time, 3 counts out. Bottom hand, 3 counts out. And then we're back to holding to start over. So we'll take 5 rounds of that now. Go ahead and empty out all of your air with a nice big exhale out the mouth. Inhale, filling up the belly. 2, 1, filling up the chest. 2, 1, holding the breath in. 2, 1, exhale the chest. 2, 1, exhale the belly all the way out. 1, holding empty for 3, 2, 1, filling up the belly. 2, 1, bring it into the chest, opening the lungs, and holding 3, 2, 1. Exhale chest. 2, 1. Exhale belly. 2, 1. Hold it out. 2, 1. Starting again. Fill up the belly. 2, 1. Fill up the chest. 2, 1. Stay. Hold. Exhale slowly from the chest. 2, 1. Exhale belly. 2, 1. Hold it out. 3, 2, 1. 2 more times. Inhale deep from the belly. Filling up the chest. Holding 3, 2, 1. Exhale chest. Exhale belly. Empty for 3, 2, 1. Last time, filling up the belly. Deep, deep breath. Filling the chest. Let it all expand for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, chest. Exhale, belly. And hold out for 3, 2, 1. Let the air rush back in. You can drop your hands to the side as you return to normal breath here. Maybe you'll want to start to windshield wiper those knees toward the right, toward the left, as you gently start to blink open your eyes. And then to keep that movement, bring the knees into the chest, hug onto your shins, and then keep that rock going. So rocking from side to side, feeling maybe a little bit of a massage on the lower back. Maybe you'll want to swing the knees, making a wider surface area that you're feeling along the mat. Beautiful. So from here, keep the right leg in, taking the left leg long, and just feel that stretch. So you're reaching toward the end of the mat with your left toes, really pulling in the right leg to the chest. Feeling that hip, how's it doing? From here, you can roll out the ankle, taking it in the opposite direction. And from here, nice and easy, just grab onto that knee and rock it over toward the left side. Right knee to the left side. If this is your first twist of the day, it's probably going to be some cracks and pops, and just let all of that happen. Trying to focus on keeping the right shoulder down toward the mat. Only here for one more breath. Exhale. And your inhale will bring you back to center. And we can switch to the opposite leg. So the left knee comes in. Go ahead and roll out that ankle, reaching along with the right toes. Reverse the direction of the roll. And then let it fall over the body for a few breaths. Keeping the left shoulder planted on the ground. Just feel things out. Where is your body resisting today? What feels nice? Your next inhale will roll you back up to the center. And we'll bring that right leg in one more time. This time, straightening it, maybe not all the way, maybe keeping a little bit of a bend, figuring out what feels good. So maybe you grab right on the hamstring. I wouldn't recommend grabbing right behind your knee, but maybe it's your calf, maybe it's your foot if you're feeling super ambitious. And then we're going to take this across the body just like we did with the twist before, but if you don't have a super open hamstring, you can also step this left leg just to give you a little bit more stability and a little bit less of a stretch as you bring the leg across. It's easy on the twist, but you'll definitely feel the stretch come into your IT band. Super fun if you have had IT band injuries. Breathe through it. We're only here for another breath. Inhale brings you back up to center so that we can switch one more time, this time straightening the left leg, finding what feels good. So maybe it's here, maybe you are here, and that's totally fine. You're still going to feel it, I promise. So let it fall over, let gravity do the work here. It really doesn't have to come very far, especially if you're focusing, just like with the shoulder, keeping that left hip tacked down toward the mat. You should be able to feel the opening in that left IT band and hip. Last breath. Now we'll inhale it back to center. And just go ahead and let the legs shake out. You can bend the knees, maybe give them a little bit of a wiggle. Forget what this looks like. None of that matters. Just get into the feel of your legs, your body. Wake them up. Get them ready. And then we'll just quickly do the same thing with the arms. It doesn't quite matter what you do with them. almost as if you're trying to shake out whatever it is that you brought up. Okay, so this time we're gonna roll one more set. So you'll grab underneath your thighs and start to rock up and down, keeping the spine curved, so looking toward your navel so that it creates more of a rock-friendly spine. And then the next time you are up, go ahead and stay there. We're going to plant the hands behind us and sort of use the mat to massage out your hip. So almost as if you were foam rolling or using a tennis ball, you'll shift onto one side and balance right on that hip bone and just like get in there. This may feel terrible. If it does, maybe put the toes back to the ground and take it easy. But if you're loving this, get in there. Try some different stuff. Maybe you go quickly from right to left. Yes, this is secret core work for anyone who voted for secret core work, but we're almost done. Make sure you've given even love to both sides. Beautiful. So go ahead from here and find a nice tall seat, even though the feet are out in front of you. You may want to kind of reach underneath and lift out some of the meat so that you can really feel your sits bones on the ground and feel a long spine. From here, we're going to do a sitting figure four stretch. So the right heel will come to the top of the left knee, and maybe this is a lot right where you are. If you want a little more, you'll bring that left foot in even further. But this is totally fine. I want to focus on keeping the spine lifted, the chest open, and not kind of letting yourself cave back. It might feel nice to rock a little bit here as well. And then one thing I'm going to offer, if you are ready to get into the twisting of today, is to reach your right arm high and use that arm to bring it toward the bottom of your right foot and twist open toward the left. Either way, whatever you've chosen here, stay and breathe. If you're twisting, breathing will be complicated, so that's the only thing you should focus on. All of your energy, keeping the inhale deep and the exhale long. Next exhale will untwist you and then switch out the legs. You can give them a little shake in between. We'll step over for the opposite leg, set up your personal preference, making sure the spine is long, especially if you want to take that option to bring up the left arm and use it to twist. What a fun pretzel! And here, this opposition between the foot and the arm is using all of that push and pull to open the chest toward the side. Keeping the breath strong. One more breath. Beautiful. So we're going to keep the legs stepped over. So the left will be on top, the right leg will be long, and you want to flex the toes coming back toward the shin so that you have this nice straight leg, engaged hamstring. And we don't have to worry about engaging the back. You can just go ahead and walk it all forward. Let the head drop. You'll start to feel this. Maybe you do need to inch the toes forward a little bit if you don't feel it, but you should be able to feel a quite nice stretch, again, back in that IT band, where we'll be playing quite a bit today. And even bring the forehead to the knee. Just let that upper body collapse here. Not something I will say often. And then you can go ahead and roll yourself up. We'll take the opposite side. So left leg is long, right leg is stepped over, both hips flat on the ground. And you can walk yourself forward. letting the head relax, letting the spine round. Making sure to flex the left toes back toward the shin. A few more seconds here. And then we will, as we come up, tuck the legs underneath you so that we can come over to all fours. Planting the hands right beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips, and starting to move into a cat-cow sequence. So your inhale will drop the belly, lift the chest, almost as if you're pulling it through your biceps. And exhale presses everything up in the opposite direction. So inhale to drop and open. Exhale to press and close and round. Feel free to take 5 or so rounds of this with your own breath. Finding a little fluidity in the spine here. Try to keep it moving the whole time as opposed to getting to one spot and holding. As you finish up, you can start to come back toward a neutral spine. And we will, with an inhale, moving that left hand to the center of the mat. Inhale will bring the right arm open as you thread underneath so that you can stretch the back here. The shoulder, the neck, all of it. Your temple skin, maybe your ear can come down to the mat. And if you've done this pose quite a lot or you feel really comfortable here, you might consider lifting the left arm up to the ceiling or tucking it behind your hip to use it, again, that opposition, to press into the hip and open the chest more. We love to twist. Woo. Can I breathe? No. Can you hear that in my voice? Probably. We're here. We're getting through it. We're wringing out some stuff. If you chose to bind or lift that arm, go ahead and slowly bring it back down to the mat, planting it in the center in front of you. As your next inhale unwinds everything open, and then we'll place it back down on the mat. So moving into the other side, center that right hand, breathing open toward the left, and threading it through. Finding a spot that feels good. Maybe you choose to open with the right arm up to the ceiling, or tuck it behind, pull the shoulder open even more. Taking whatever option feels good for you. It's always good to try something and then learn to ask your body, like, how's that? Is that okay? And sometimes the body's like, no, absolutely not. Go back to what you were doing. It is a fun language to try and learn when you are twisted into a pretzel on the ground. If you took the option to lift the arm, place it back down, and inhale to unwind. Coming back to the center here. So we're going to press up, walking ourselves back here into a forward fold. So the hips will lift, sitting nice and long, and I want you to kind of pay attention to where your weight is at. So just like tilt back and forward and see if you can figure out where the center is. You don't want to be too far back or too far in your toes. There's a space right in between toes and heels that is like kind of a sweet spot here for where we want to be. Once you feel like you're there, you can grab onto your opposite elbows and find a little sway. Maybe shake out the head, no, yes. Something in between no and yes. Find a little looseness here. Hips can sway a little bit. Then you can bring the hands back toward the ground or to the shins or wherever they end up being. And we'll just start to pedal out the legs. So one at a time, bending into the opposite knees, letting the hips sway, not trying to overcorrect for alignment here. Once again, you'll feel that hamstring activating a bit. And once the left leg is bent and the right leg is straight, the next time you're there, go ahead and stay. And just like we did, plant the left hand in the center of the mat in front of you. This is a space where it might potentially be nice to have a block, especially if your hamstrings aren't super open, just to bring the ground up a touch. But you can always be on your fingertips. So from here, we'll keep this right leg nice and long, left leg bent, and inhale to open toward the right side. Again, trying to keep that weight evenly distributed so you're not sitting too far back, you're not sitting too far forward. You're just breathing here for one more breath. And we'll exhale back down. Switch to the opposite leg. Maybe you don't need that block, maybe you want to shift it to a higher setting. Either way, inhale and find that space. And go ahead and exhale it back down. From here, just gently, gently walk your hands out to a downward facing dog. So your hips stay high, heels stay pressing toward the ground, fingertips spread nice and wide, and you can go ahead and look back toward your navel, toward your knees. Just keep your eyes looking toward the back of the mat here. Again, we want to pedal with the feet, kind of pressing out, figuring out where we're at today. And kind of find a bit of stillness here just so you can enjoy the simple alignment of your body not twisting in any way, shape, or form. Your arms and your shoulders and your hips, your heels, all of that running parallel, feeling nice. You're here for maybe one more second and then the twisting is it's coming for you. So from here, we're going to step forward nice and gentle with the left leg, bringing that foot up between the hands for a lunge. And you can kind of settle in here, figure out where things need to be to feel good. You want to keep the lunge low. And we're going to actually move both hands to the inside of the leg. And your back foot is going to rotate so that the heel comes down to the mat and the toes point toward the right. So that looks like coming from this to this. That should get into the inner thigh a little bit. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you're like, you know what, this is new for me, I don't want to try anything crazy. But you can also choose to open just like we have been into a twist. This is another lovely space. If you'd like that block, to kind of bring it right to the inside of your knee here. But you're using that opposition, the pressing of the arm into the knee into the arm, to open up and then exhale back down. Take just a few more of those, trying to keep the hips low. Exhale to close. Inhale to open. Reaching a little bit more each time. And taking one more of those. Glorious. You can go ahead and lose the block if you had it. And we will start to walk over toward the side of the mat, finding a wide leg forward fold. Just like we did when our legs were close together, we'll first come into a bit of a hang here. Maybe you want to focus on centering the weight. Again, making sure you're not too far forward or back. Maybe you just want to hang and breathe. So finding a bit of a lift in the spine here. So it's almost as if you're tenting your fingertips out right underneath the shoulders and using your core to complete the box or the right angle here. And we'll start to shift just like we did in the first forward fold, from right to left. Easy bending. Oh, I do see someone in the waiting room. So we're still bending, we're shifting. And just like before, once the right leg is straight and left leg is bent, walk your way over toward that left leg and sink deep into the stretch here. Feel it along the right side body. Maybe crawling your fingertips even a little further forward. Breathing into that rib cage. And then come back to center as we walk it over to the other side. Making sure to send the breath where you need it. Taking long exhales out the mouth if you need to let something go. And from here, we'll keep the fingers over here as we sort of twist ourselves into a right side lunge. Find your bearings. Figure out where things need to be to feel good. To keep the left knee lifted. And then once you're there, go ahead and bring both arms to the inside of the leg and rotate that back heel down again. If you grabbed a block last time, go ahead and go for it again. It may be at the opposite end of your mat, and for that I am sorry. But we'll, just as we did before, be right here in this knee to elbow area. Be inhaling to open and exhaling to close. Inhale to open. Exhale to close back down. 2 more times. Reaching long. Last one here. Exhale back down. And once again, we'll crawl ourselves back into this wide-legged forward fold. This time, reaching with the left arm over toward the right leg. And maybe you're up here, maybe you're down at the foot. Wherever you are, the right arm will come up as we find the twist. And if you want that option, tucking it again behind the opposite hip, you can go for it. This should feel like one of your deeper twists today. There's plenty of space here to play with. It's not like the legs are tucked underneath you and twisted around each other. You've got room. Keeping that top shoulder from dipping down. Use the fingertips as if someone was pulling up toward the ceiling. And then gently, without just letting it all fall, come into the center as we turn the toes out and sit down into a squat. Finding opposition again on the knees. Maybe here you want to do a few dips of the shoulders. Or maybe you just want to stay in the squat and breathe. Maybe you need a little break. We're here for about 2 breaths, and then we'll switch over to the twist on the opposite side, and then we will come back to the floor. All right, so whenever you're ready, go ahead and straighten out those legs again, reaching this time with your right hand over to the left foot, ankle, shin, thigh, and twisting open. It should not be easy to breathe here. You're using the pull of that bottom arm. Last breath cycle. And then gently, gently let it go. From here, we're going to tuck underneath ourselves. So bringing this left leg in first to the ground so that you can sit, you're welcome, and step the right leg over top. Now here, it might be tough to get both of your hips onto the ground and be able to keep all of these 5 toes on the ground as well. So like play around, find something that is close to that, and if you can't, give yourself grace and find something else. Once we're here, we're gonna inhale really long, lifting the spine, dropping the shoulders, and twisting over toward the right. This time using the left elbow, push yourself deeper into the twist. Maybe looking over the back shoulder. We're here for 5 breaths. You close down the eyes. Focus on the heart rate. Let it quicken to help you get through what we just did. Once you're through your 5, you can gently untwist yourself into a bit of a counter twist. So you'll dip the body toward the opposite side here. And super slowly roll yourself back up to the center. From here, instead of unwinding directly to the other side, we're going to do our best to stack the shins, one on top of another. This is where your block and or pillow might come in handy, as you can put it between any space that you have. So if you're like, okay, I can get them stacked, but it's terrible, please opt for the pillow or block. We're here for a second, and we're also going to nice and gently walk it forward so that we can get a little deeper into that stretch. Now you're like, where's the twist? It's an option. You totally don't have to take this one, but just like we did before, you can bring this this right elbow into the top right foot and use your hands pressing together to twist open toward the side. And truly, like, this one isn't as bad as some of the other ones. If you took the twist option, I do want you to have a little bit of time to just relax forward, so go ahead and walk those hands forward. Super gentle now. Go ahead and roll up one vertebrae at a time, keeping the chin tucked until you're at the top. And we will switch to the other side. So removing the pillow. You can now tuck the right leg underneath, stepping the left leg over, and finding that tall seat again, trying to keep these toes planted on the ground, both hips tapped down to the mat as we inhale long and exhale to twist. Here for a while, about 30 seconds. So you can let the eyes close. Focus on any place that you're holding tension that you maybe don't need. I know I grip my jaw here, which is cute. Maybe you are furrowing your brow, lifting the ears, anything that's like grabbing on to that tension that your body has found and trying to absorb it away from where it is not helping you. So if your hands are tensing, let them go. If your toes are curling, let them go. Focus only on getting your breath down into your belly and exhaling it all the way back out. When you're ready, let that slow unwind happen. Dipping your body toward the opposite side here for a second. And as you come up, finding whatever option you took on the other side, or maybe this side is more or less open. Sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not. Maybe you want the pillow as just like a little security thing happening here. So you can go ahead and walk yourself forward, or you can come to take that twist option, finding the elbow in the foot and using the top hand to press yourself open. Shoulders pressing down away from the ears here. Maybe you're looking up toward the ceiling, maybe you're just looking at your hands. Maybe you're looking down toward the ground. There are always smaller things that you can do to either add challenge or add comfort to a pose. You don't need to take every single challenging option. Maybe some days you do, maybe that's what your body's asking for. Certainly can never hurt to try. And again, maybe you hear that little like, no thanks. And you come back out to the easier option, which sometimes, honestly, is the harder one to take, especially if you are used to pushing yourself. If you took the twist, go ahead and walk it forward just so you can get that stretch in the hips. Nice and slow, you'll gently roll yourself up to the center. So from here, you can either grab your pillow if you haven't already, or keep it exactly where it is. And we're going to set up a restorative twist. So this one hopefully won't be as confrontational as everything else has been. And you may be like, oh, I don't feel anything at all. Great. Relax into it. That is the work. So we're going to stagger our legs here so that your front shin is in line with the mat and the back shin is parallel to the back of the mat. And your hip should be right up against the pillow. So the twist is happening when we face the front of the mat and either walk ourselves forward onto our forearms and just stay here. Maybe this is enough for you. Or you can walk yourself as down as far as your body allows. Maybe twisting your head to the right, the left. And if you've been here and you're like, wow, both of these options are still kind of bad, go ahead and unstagger the feet and just stack the knees right on top of each other for an even more simple twist of the spine. So we're here for about a minute, and then we'll switch over to the other side. Just settle in, breathe. Imagine a beautiful beach, ocean shore, and be there. I like to bring my arms into a cactus with the palms facing down, and that will give you a bit of a chest stretch as well, but if you are not looking for that, you can simply put them wherever feels comfortable. And just like always, if you took an option that is starting to feel confrontational, now is not the time to push through it. If you turned your neck the opposite way and it's starting to pull, turn it back the natural way. Maybe it takes a little bit of twist out, but who cares? The last thing you want to be doing right now in a restorative pose is fighting against your body. Sometimes the work is in learning to melt. gently and start to transition yourself back up. Maybe starting with the forearms, seeing how that feels for a little bit. And then gently walking yourself all the way back up here. And we're going to just take a quick in-between to windshield wiper the legs before we switch over to the opposite side. So feeling the stretch in the front of the hip here. And then we can set ourselves up the opposite way. Maybe you bring your pillow to the other end of the mat, or maybe you just flip over. Whatever is good. So this front shin is in line with the front, back shin in line with the side, and you will either walk down to your elbows, see how that is, see what that's like, or maybe choose to walk down a little bit further. And just because you chose one thing on one side does not mean it's the right thing on the other side. So find what you need, y'all. Maybe you're just stacking the knees here. Maybe you're practicing the arms, maybe you're not. Maybe you're turning the chin, or turning one cheek, maybe you're not. We've got 1 minute here. Closing the eyes if you haven't already. Gently begin to walk yourself back up. Maybe pausing in between at that forearm bit. You can go ahead and remove the pillow. And we'll end today in a big open X. So coming to lay on your mat with the arms above the head, palms facing up, legs wide. You can let the feet fall open. And just take up as much space as you possibly can here. Fingertips spread wide, toes wide, reaching from top to bottom. Drinking in what it feels like to not twist yourself into knots. Come into your full potential, your full expanse. From here, we'll close together with 3 deep breaths. I encourage you to reach long on the inhale, and on the exhale, imagine as if all of that stuff that you just wrung out is just flowing out of your body, through your fingertips, through your toes, and into, who knows, deep, deep space where it will never be seen again. All right, let out all of your air. Inhale long, reaching. Exhale it all out. 2 more times. One more. You can begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe bringing yourself into a hug, bringing the knees to the chest. And then either rocking yourself or tipping yourself or bringing yourself into whatever comfortable seat you desire as you start to open the eyes and come back into your life. Thank you all so much. As usual, this is a bright spot. I've been having some rough mental health days, y'all, but that's being human. That's feeling all of it. That's magic. Can't feel deep joy if you don't also feel deep despair. So, yeah, that's why we take care of ourselves. That's why we find therapists and do the stuff. But I hope you are also taking care of yourselves, and please drink lots of water. Lots of water. Twisting is it can get gross. But wait, the newsies are phone banking today? Thank you, IG Live. I'm turning it off. Bye. Wait, Kimia, tell me more.
So there's this group called Broadway for Biden, and they do like the Broadway stars who are like not performing right now. They like host these phone banks. So this one is Newsies versus Lion King, and yeah, so you can join at the link there.
Oh my god, cool. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, I also posted it in the Newsies group.
Amazing. I need to be better at Facebook. That's so cool. I'm scared of phone banking, but you know what? It's starting now? Oh, it's starting at 7. Alright. I'm in.
Yay!
You can do it.
Okay, y'all. It's so great to see you as always.